All right, so our first night in the RV as a family was a success. We did actually boondock, and we stayed outside of a Cracker Barrel, which we're in right now. We're gonna eat here, and then we're gonna pack up the RV and we're gonna head towards the unit and start putting things back into it so we can start making our journey over to the campsite that we're gonna be camping at. All right, so definitely learning a lot about RVs today. We had to get our propane filled, and I've never seen a tank this big. Never. I'm sure I have, I just never paid attention. This is a 30-gallon tank, or sorry, a 30-pound tank. That's where I was making the mistake. I kept thinking it was a 30-gallon tank, and I kept going everywhere. I went to Walmart, I went to Home Depot, I went to Lowe's, and none of them could give me a replacement for this tank. You know how you do the exchange, you give them your propane tank, they give you a new one that's filled, and it's way cheaper than buying a whole new tank. Well, these tanks, unfilled, are $120, so that's a no-go. I already have one. I don't need one that's unfilled. I already have an unfilled one. So finally, somebody at Home Depot suggested that I try Tractor Supply, and that was the spot. Now, when I pulled up, I saw their price for propane, which was $3.99 a gallon, and I was thinking, oh my goodness, I've got a 30-gallon tank. I'm about to drop $120 just to get the thing filled. So this is a $240 tank? No, I was wrong. 30-pound tank, and it only holds about 6 to 7, maybe 8 gallons of propane. I think we got up to 6, so it was under 30 bucks to fill this thing back up, and phew, thank goodness, because that would have been quite the expense to fill this up every single time. And of course, the propane is going to be used for a little bit of the water heater, the stove, the outside grill if I have to use that, which I probably will be using more. I should have said the stove if I have to use that one, because that one's going to be more or less not used. So there you go. You learn something new as you go. So next step is getting this thing out of the box, hooked up. I'm really hoping it's super duper easy. I see some cords. It just looks like it's gonna be plug and play. I'm really hoping. I don't want to have to do any type of mechanical work to get this thing started, because it would be nice to have heat tonight. All right, so while at Tractor Supply, you guys saw I went through and looked at all the different types of generators, and it was Heather, the lady who helped us, that ended up convincing me that this was the best one for this unit. This is a very large RV. It requires a little bit more power than some of the regular sized ones. And we're at the Cracker Barrel still, and there's several other RVs that are sitting here that I know probably have something smaller than this because they just don't need it. But this is the Onins by Cummins. It's the P4500, and this has a running watts of 3,700 and a peak watt of 4,500. It takes about 3.5 gallons of gas. I was reading all about it this morning while we ate at Cracker Barrel. And the nice thing about this is that it's super quiet, which is really nice. It has an electric and a remote start. It's perfect for this RV, and it's enhanced fuel efficiency, and it has real-time displays, which is going to be very helpful for me. So let's get it unboxed. And instead of opening it like a normal person, since I've already got it in there, the thing's kind of heavy. I'd say maybe it's about 50, 60 pounds, maybe more, I don't know. And I'm just going to pop the stitches off. So this might not be the best way, but I am going to have to take it out. I was hoping to avoid that, but it does have some convenient handles. All right, so there's a closer look at the unit itself. There's all of your instructions, model number and all that stuff, and there's definitely a lot of information here. I am going to need to get some oil. It takes 5W30, I believe. It only takes about 0.6 of a liter, so I'm going to have to fill that little tiny thing up, and that looks like the connections right there. Now I am going to have to read the manual again just to make sure I do it right. And this is where the gas would go. And Heather was telling us that at 25% efficiency, that is a beautiful looking front part, and there's all kinds of LEDs that let you know what's going on, what you need, and what's happening. What do we got here? We got some ports, I believe. There you go, right there. You can plug right into it, which is pretty cool. And then this one is a bigger one. There you go. You could power, it looks like a dryer with this. That's pretty neat. All right, so after consorting with the manual for a little bit, found that this was the battery. And as you can see, it's covered up in there. But these are what connect. You've got your negative and your positive. And those plug into somewhere in here, which I have yet to figure out. I do see a red and white wire right here, but they don't look like the same size that'll fit the generator. And looking up there, there's a lot more stuff, a lot more plugs. I believe the dryer sheets, that is from the previous owner. If I had to guess, I would say it's to help discharge any type of static that might build up. It's pretty ingenious to actually do that. But it could also be a fire hazard, so maybe it's not the best idea. But yeah, I'm gonna have to consort with the manual a little bit more. This one says solar, so I don't think that's it, but I could be wrong once again. That happens very often, and with a new endeavor, very, very often. I don't see anything on this side that resembles any type of plugins, and I'll have to keep looking, I think. All right, after consorting with the manual one more time out of this little area, it does look like that pops right out, and these are actually quick connects. I don't have to pop it out. You can see there's a strap here. It's supposed to stay strapped in there, but these are quick connects. I'm not 100% sure that those line up with those. That's my head. Yeah, those are definitely not the same connects. So I'm still not 100% sure where this thing needs to be plugged into. This is Intervac, Road Vac, CVAC, a compact vacuum system. That's kind of cool. I don't see any type of connection that looks like it will take what I need to plug in. Definitely nothing just easily accessible, that's for sure. I don't know if it's tucked in somewhere. I'm not sure they had a generator, but might need to check this one. No, that doesn't look like it either. How interesting. So before I get any further, I did just learn that these don't actually plug into the RV that way. I kept thinking this little area, the unit would just be in there, but that doesn't make any sense because of carbon monoxide. So I went looking for videos, and it does turn out that I have to plug in right here, and this plug will then draw into my RV just like the normal power source would, which is over here. And I do have the 50 amp, which is right there. So there you go, 50 amp from Furia. It turns out though that my cord is not the right one. So a hard lesson learned just now about that. That's what plugs into the RV. This is what's supposed to plug into your power source. I do have another cable, but it is literally just an extension of that one. And I don't believe we got any more with the unit that we bought. And this was bought used. So I'm gonna check over there, see if there's anything over there that I can use. But before I get to that, let's show you what came in the little box that came with it. And it kept saying, so this is the oil funnel. This is most likely a spark plug. No, this is cables. Here's a I'm gonna assume. So this little cable I believe goes in right here. Just pop that open. Plugs in right there. I don't know what you'd plug into that, but I'm sure I'd find out eventually. And the oil that actually goes with it, which is great, because I don't have to go get it, and it is 10W30. I believe I said 5W30, so thank goodness it came with it. All the little instructions said And it does not come with oil, but not included. So that was weird. Let's see what's inside the little black box. Oh, look at that. It comes with the tools needed. I didn't need to get any tools. That's pretty neat. Let's see what's in the little bag. It comes with a screwdriver, Phillips head, and this must be the spark plug wrench, and some kind of stick. There you go, the spark plug wrench, and then of course this goes in there to give you some leverage so that you could turn it. I am losing daylight fairly quickly. There's not much I can do about that. It is Sunday as well, so just about everywhere is closed, so I don't believe I'll be able to plug this in, even if I do get it started. It's gonna be another cold night. All right, so I'm back in the truck warming up. Lost all my daylight and didn't get anything accomplished besides for finding out that that's not the generator I need to run the entire rig. Now, it will work. A 30 amp will work on a 50 amp. It just won't be able to power everything, which is fine right now. All I really need is a little bit of heat. But to play it safe, I think we are going to have to return this one that we bought and buy a more appropriately sized one for our rig, just to make sure that if we're ever boondocking out in the middle of nowhere, that we have plenty of power to power everything that we need. And I think that's going to be the best bet. So I'm going to try and run over to Home Depot to see what I can do. They do have some generators there. They might not have the right size. It is very late. I've got to hurry. So I'm going to run over and do that and see what I can find. All right, so I didn't make it to Home Depot in time. I only had about 10 minutes. Went to Menards, got some hot hands, got some toe warmers. And now I'm sitting outside of this place called Zatoon. It is a Mediterranean grill, and I'm eating a gyro in a bowl. The kids and the honey are over at her mom's place. They're all taking showers and stuff like that and getting ready for bed. They're probably going to stay the night there. The honey is apparently going to join me sometime. I'm not sure why. I told her she should stay with her mom where it's nice and warm, and I'll just caveman it tonight. I wish I could build a fire. That'd be pretty cool, but of course, you can't just build a fire anywhere you want. So I'm going to finish up my food here, and then there's a Walmart right there. I'm probably just going to wander around Walmart and see what I can find, if there's any necessities I need or could use that would make this a little bit easier for me.
The next morning.
Breakfast this morning, I went to Cracker Barrel and I got myself the stuffed pancake breakfast, and it comes with 2 eggs of your choice. I always go sunny side, or I like over easy. Got some thick cut bacon with it, and this is cheesecake stuffed strawberry pancakes, and oh my goodness, does that look so delicious. All right, so the whole ordeal with the generator, I'm not going to worry about it. I was going to go and try and get it exchanged, but I think we're just going to hold on to that one just for now until we get close to Camping World, and then we'll probably return it. The honey and I discussed it last night after the I mean, you guys just watched what happened, so gonna have to probably not use a generator. We're planning on staying mostly at campsites. If we do go boondocking, we will maybe then consider getting a generator that'll work for us, or maybe we'll just keep that one and get a connector plug to use it properly, and then we won't have to worry about it at all. But now I'm headed into Walmart to hopefully use their Wi-Fi, because that's something we don't have yet, and then I'm gonna upload my videos. All right, took me about 20 minutes to upload one video, about 30 minutes to upload 2 videos, so that was absolutely epic. Walmart definitely does have some quick Wi-Fi. If you're ever on the go and you need some, that's the place to go. You do have to sign up. You have to sign into their network, and you have to agree to let them monitor you, which I thought was super duper weird, but hey, maybe it's for safety. I'm always a little bit skeptical with doing stuff like that, because that is actually how I had my identity hacked one time. I logged into the mall free Wi-Fi, and moments later I was hacked and taken out of my account, and then my identity was stolen not too long after that. So always be skeptical. I don't use my general emails when I'm doing stuff like this. I always make sure I have a side email that's not associated with anything else, so it's just for logging into stuff like this. So if anybody tried to hack it, they shouldn't get any information whatsoever besides for maybe my name or something like that. And sometimes I use a phony name for that too, so it works out. All right, so I'm finally back at the RV, and the honey's doing some running around, and while she's doing that, I'm gonna install the new cameras that we got. So let's take a look at those. All right, so we were fortunate enough that a fella at the general RV where we were parked for a couple of days had an extra one that he was getting rid of because he upgraded his. So we got the 7-inch Furion with the 3 cameras, so one on each side and then one on the back for the rear view, which is great. And luckily enough, I think this RV is already prepped to hold the cameras because I don't think I have to do any types of wiring installation myself. It should just be I unplug the old ones and plug the new ones in, and it should be good to go. All right, so I'm on top of the camper, and the first thing I'm gonna do is change out the casing here so that I can install this one that has a holder for the rear view camera. So I've got to undo those 4 screws that looks exactly like this, and then this one will just take its place and it'll pop right in there. So let's get to that. All right, so actually after taking a look at it just now by hanging over the edge, I can see right there it says rear doorway camera. So I'm wondering if I could just pop this little thing off and it'll pop right in there. That would be absolutely epic. And I mean, not really time saving, but it would be great because wouldn't have to take that whole thing off and replace it. It'd just be easy in and out. So let's get to that. All right, so I got that little cover off. Let's take a look because I can't actually see in there. So I'm hoping there it is right there, the plug. Okay, so that's what I need to connect, I think. Okay, that just has a little thing on there. Beautiful. This is gonna be so much simpler than I think, and I'm happy about that because I don't really like being up here. As I put my screwdriver down, it went tumbling, and I'm not trying to tumble either. And just for the record, I want to state I don't have a fear of heights, I have a fear of falling. All right, so there we go. I got all 4 screws installed. Camera's installed. Looks good. It's not coming out anytime soon. That was extremely simple. The hardest part about this entire thing was finding out where that little cord on the inside goes behind the camera. There's not much space back there, but I was able to just wedge it into the crevice that is available, and it all sealed up real nicely. I was nervous I was going to drop the tiny little screws that come with it, but I didn't, which is a first for me. Didn't fumble nuts anything. So done with this one, on to the next, and I'm praying that these work. I'm sure they do. So Kyle, the wonderful fellow over at General RV that helped us and actually we purchased this from, let me know that if the side cameras don't work, he said the back one should work no matter what. If the side cameras don't work, there is an adapter I'll have to buy, and all it'll do is plug into the plug that actually connects to the truck where this draws power from, the side lamps and the cameras, and it'll work just like that. So crossing my fingers I don't need that adapter. I paid a pretty hefty price for that plug that goes into the truck, which was like 200 bucks, so hopefully that's the right one. All right, so as you can see, this says Furrion camera bracket, which it is already equipped for this brand. Now the only thing I have a question about, which I'll figure it out, but it's something that always confuses me. This says left camera with traffic light. So does that mean if you're looking at it, is it to the left or is this the left? Because this right now is my left, so I'm looking at the left. But if I look away, the way that it's actually facing, this side would be my left. So I'm not 100% sure. I'm gonna have to play with it and see what happens. That's usually the best route anyways. All right, so one thing I did notice about these as well is obviously they're used, but it looks like the holes were busted out. But luckily Kyle added these in, which he was probably going to do himself and maybe just decided to get a whole new unit on his own, or maybe just took them off just to take them off. So I'm gonna have to replace that whole outside part, I believe. Constantly learning as I go, which is wonderful. That's how I love to do things. This is like my element. I love playing with things. I love tinkering in things and figuring them out. I just realized that I did not have to take this whole thing apart. Watch what I did. So I ended up unscrewing the whole thing out of that, which I think I'm gonna have to keep this light bulb, but maybe I won't have to, because I was gonna put it on the new one that he supplied, but I'm positive, because of how this looks, it's literally just a plug-in insert, that if I just remove these screws, this will plug right in and I won't have to tinker anymore with what I did, and I should not have to worry about anything busting off or breaking off. This should be the way it's supposed to be, so let's see if that works. All right, so I got the screws off, and all right, that does just wiggle off, and it does already have the receptacles for that, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is the right side, not the left. So I'm gonna go ahead and install the right camera right here. And if this is the left camera, I just won't be right, I'll be wrong, which I think it's supposed to be up like that. That makes more sense to me. I don't think it's supposed to be down. Well, it'll be down that way, but this seems to make more sense to me. So let's just glide and slide on in. Oh, I gotta slide like that. Oh, watch that. That is like so smooth. Oh, I love that. Oh, a nice good tap on India. And I don't think I have to do any rewiring, anything with this. Just gotta put those screws back in and then double check that it actually sends a signal from this to the truck and then to the monitor, which is gonna be hung up on the windshield. All right, there it is. The screws are back in, and I'm just gonna go ahead and pop this back on. Just like that, and that is it. Let's get to the other side. All right, so before I get to the other side, let me show you a closer look at what I ended up doing with this side, because somebody out there might have this issue as well, because that broke right off. This piece broke right off before I even had a chance to do anything. So to pull the camera out, all you have to do is unscrew the 2 little screws right here. You don't have to do all 4 like I did. That accesses this back panel, which I did not have to do at all. That was just me tinkering around, thinking I know what I'm doing, and then figuring out later on that I'm going to figure out what I'm doing was wrong and then do it the right way. So on to the next one. As I was just saying, I'm going to pop these 2 screws off right there, and that should just slide right out. I am going to clean this up a little bit, and that should just install like the other one did. And I instantly forgot, so I did get those 2 screws off and nothing was moving. I instantly forgot that there's 2 screws on the inside that I had to get off. So there's 4 screws that you have to remove to get that to come off, which is nice, more secure. There we go, 2 minutes later and 4 screws, and it slides right out. I'm going to give this a good cleaning before I install it. Alright, so funny enough, I didn't even know this was here, this plug-in, because we didn't know when we took it to get our hitch installed, and they ended up putting one right there, and like I said, I paid $200 for that. So if I already had one and they installed one, you would have thought they would have checked and saw that I had one, but maybe it's better to have one on the inside than the outside, because the tailgate is going to be up while we're driving every single time. I'm never going to leave it down, so having one on the outside would be good for if we're towing like this, but I think having one on the inside is going to be way more convenient for the 5th wheel. So we'll just keep it the way it is. I'm not going to complain. All right, so here's what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to unplug this, which is not the best thing because I'm losing that. That's a lot of charging cables. We have a lot of things to charge: phones, tablets, Nintendos. So this is just going to plug right into here. Right, and then this plug is right into and then that plug's already in there. It says no signal from camera 4, which there is no camera 4, so I think I'm still going to have to calibrate a lot of stuff to get this to work right. Alright, so after cycling through it a little bit, you can see I can hit this button. This shows all 4 cameras, and I have no signal from each, so I'm going to have to figure out what's going on. It might just be where I plugged in that back plug. It might need to go on the one on the inside. If not, I will have to get the adapter, but I should be at least seeing the rear camera. That's what he told me. He said the rear one should always work, and that's going to be camera number 3, I believe. Alright, so the first quick fix I tried was plugging it into the one that they installed to see if that did anything. I still don't have signal, so the next thing I've got to do is come over here where it says monitor and pairing, and I think I have to do something. The problem is, like I was saying, these might not have power being pulled to them, and that's what I'll need that little adapter for, and the adapter costs $100, so hoping to avoid all that. And I think this is on the right side because I don't think this would be on top. I think that would be weird, because then the writing would be backwards, you wouldn't be able to see it. But yeah, it definitely doesn't look like I'm getting any power to that. There just might be something on my end, again, that I'm forgetting, but I'm gonna go check on the backup camera and see what's going on there. Okay, so once again, finding out something that I didn't know. I had to go inside and turn the lights on the truck on because that's the only way it sends signal to this. So now you can see that it's got a blue thing that lets me know that it's on, but to pair it, I do have to pair it. No, not that type of pair, like pairing. I have to go inside to the monitor and actually click pairing mode and then come back out here as fast as I can and try to get it to pair before it fails. All right, so no pairing needed as far as that is the side camera. That is the side that is the left. That is the left side, I'm pretty sure. So let's see if I view all. Oh man, is that pretty. I wish we had a door one, but that is nice. There we go. I don't have to do any more than that. So I just had to make sure that the lights of the truck were on so that it was sending power. That's kind of cool that it cycles like that. I like that a lot. There we go. Now that I have that all installed, I think we're ready to get back on the road. We are going to be moving to our first campsite. We're so excited to actually have power again, because without the generator, because I couldn't hook it up properly, We've had no power for the last 2 nights, and it's been like 60, 55-ish, 60 degrees at night, so kind of cold, not too bad. I got some of those hot hands, worked out fine, but let's get to there so that we can actually have some convenience in our life again.